Hello, hello! My name is Kallista, and welcome back to Dragon Age 2. In the last episode, Amelia was finally acquainted with the dashing dwarven rogue, Varric Tethras. Look at him! A more fabulous dwarf there has never been, and he promised that he would help us gather together 50 sovereigns in order to partner with Bartrand on his expedition. Now then, before I get into the episode proper, there are a couple of things I wanted to go over. I actually meant to do this in episode 1 and it just completely slipped my mind. I was a little bit too hyped about starting Dragon Age 2. And that is, if you are looking for a Let's Play that is very hard and fast, focused on fighting, playing with tactics, that sort of thing, well, thank you for clicking on this Let's Play, but this is not the Let's Play for you. I like to take my time, read through all of the codex entries, and I'm very roleplay focused. I will be talking a lot about Amelia and her thoughts and her feelings and that kind of thing. Secondly, speaking of Amelia, please do not confuse the character for the role player. I am not playing through this as Callista Hawk. I am playing as Amelia Hawk. Amelia is very pro-Templar and extremely anti-mage. Those are not my thoughts or feelings, so please do not confuse the two, okay? Everyone on the same page now, okay? Okay, I'm gonna take that as a yes. First things first, we have levels. Let me start my timer. There we go. Now then, little brother, you need 2 strength, 1 constitution. And you can have that. And Varric, my dear, okay, now, this is where I run into problems. You see, in this cunning, I don't necessarily like how they did this, but basically, once you reach something like 10 cunning, you can unlock every simple chest. At 20 cunning, you can unlock every hard chest, and so on and so forth. And when you reach 40 cunning, you can unlock master chests. I really don't like how they did that. So I'm always tempted just to completely neglect dexterity and dump everything into cunning. I can't really do that. Yeah, for 1 level I can. And then next time I'll start doing 2 cunning, 1 dexterity. That's fair, I think. I think that's decent. There we go, and we can resume. Now then, Kirkwall has opened up to us. Let's see. Well, Worthy's over there, and yeah, there's Sebastian. Oh, Sebastian. Let me just take a look at my all of the premium content. We're just going to ignore that for now. Lots of things are waiting for us when we go back to Gamlen's. Long way home. Deliver Flemeth's amulet to keep a Marathari in the Dalish camp on Sundermount. Amelia has been putting this off. She really didn't like having to agree to, you know, do Flemeth's business. Flemeth is clearly an apostate, a very powerful apostate, and more than likely Maleficarum. However, delivering an amulet, that doesn't necessarily scream magic to Amelia. That could just be a very simple delivery job. The reason why Amelia is going to do this, she could just ignore this task. However, as I mentioned before, Flemeth is very clearly a powerful apostate. She could track us down. She could come after us for not doing her bidding, and Amelia really doesn't want that. She doesn't want to put her family in danger, so she's going to do it. A new home. Go to Gamlen's home in Lowtown. A friend in the guard. Aveline may have information about working with the city guard. Talk to her at the barracks in the Viscount's Keep. The Deep Roads expedition. This is our main mission, I guess you could say, for Act 1. Get the 50 sovereigns together. And a business discussion. Talk to Varric in Lowtown's Hanged Man pub. Can do. And let me just get all of them done. I think first things first, we're going to head over to Aveline. After speaking to Worthy, because I mean, he's right here. We might as well talk to the guy.
No loitering.
How dare you? I'm not loitering. I'm not. And I think...
You know, Junior, it's eerie how much resemblance there is between you two.
She's my sister. Of course there's a resemblance.
Oh, you thought I meant Hawk. I was talking about Gamlin.
Maker, I hate you, dwarf.
Oh, Varric, don't you be slagging off Amelia's little brother. She loves her little brother. He might not be very friendly towards her, but Amelia really regrets the relationship that she and Carver have. Just because it is rather antagonistic, she'd like it to be friendlier.
Hawk, long time no see, my friend.
Well, if it isn't Worthy, the dwarf with the incredibly ironic name.
I only advertise the truth. You aren't still working for Athenril, are you? Your year must be up by now.
Very nosy, aren't you?
Still trying to ferret out everyone's business, I see.
Of course. How else do you expect a dwarf to make a living? I'll tell you what. I still have my old contacts. You need some rune crafting done, I can arrange it for you. Take care, Hawk. Don't get dead.
Excellent advice. Also, quick question, Worthy. What the fuck is that? Because that looks like red lyrium, but it can't be red lyrium because a certain expedition hasn't set off yet. There we go. Okie doke. Now then. On to Aveline.
I'm buying everything.
Okay, Carver. Okay, I mean, it's your money. You are free to do whatever you like with it. As I was saying, yeah, Amelia understands why Carver doesn't really like her. It's because she got to spend all of that time with Malcolm. And I think at the back of her mind, Amelia is also like, and it's because I'm a mage and mages are evil, evil people. I think she has also noticed that, you know, when she was talking to Varric, she was like, oh, you'll have heard of my little brother then. And Varric was like, nah, I've mainly heard of you, love. And Amelia does feel bad that she seems to have this very charismatic effect on people. She's really not sure why people seem to be drawn to her in that way. But she knows that Carver wants his own spotlight. Carver wants his own adventures, and he is permanently kind of stuck in her shadow in the same way that she was always stuck in Bethany's shadow in her mother's eyes. So, as I said, Amelia really does want to try to repair her relationship with Carver. It's just going about it that is rather difficult. Kirkwall, Hightown. At the height of the Tevinter Imperium's slave trade, Kirkwall's elite prospered beyond dreams of avarice. Hightown was built for the wealthiest slavers, its glitzy mansions rising atop a great wall of rock that borders on one side the waking sea. Lowtown cowered on its other side, until Kirkwall's slaves rose to plunder and destroy Hightown's riches. Today, Hightown's prominent buildings are the Keep, home to the ruling Viscount, and the Chantry, home to the Grand Cleric and the city's religious centre. Both are converted estates that once housed wealthy magisters, rebuilt and converted after the uprising. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genitivi. Very interesting. I would imagine that Amelia spends quite a large amount of time in Hightown, actually, mainly because she spends a lot of time in the Chantry. Yoink. Torn trousers. Someone's been fly tipping. Someone's been fly tipping in Hightown. Guards, get on that. Yeah, Amelia goes and visits the Chantry. I saw that, guardsman. You were walking into a wall. Be embarrassed, sir. Be very embarrassed. As I keep trying to say, she goes to the Chantry, I would say at the very least twice a week. Bare minimum.
Where is she?
I have no idea, madam. Bare minimum, twice a week, going to Chantry services. As I said, she is She is very Andrastian. The only place she feels safe is in a chantry. Ah. Smell that. It's the smell of bureaucracy. Now then, yeah, there is a codex here. Excuse me?
Messiah, please stop kicking the wall.
I wasn't, guardsman. I wasn't. I was trying to pick up some paper. Hierarchy of the Circle. It is no simple matter, safeguarding ordinary men from mages and mages from themselves. Each circle tower must have some measure of self-government, for it is ever the Maker's will that men be given the power to take responsibility for our own actions, to sin and fail, as well as to achieve the highest grace and glory on our own strength. You, who will be tasked with the protection of the circle, must be aware of its workings. The first enchanter is the heart of any tower. He will determine the course his circle will take. He will choose which apprentices may be tested and made full mages, and you will work most closely with him. Assisting the first enchanter will be the senior enchanters, a small council of the most trusted and experienced magi in the tower. From this group, the next first enchanter is always chosen. Beneath the council are the enchanters. These are the teachers and mentors of the tower, and you must get to know them in order to keep your finger on the pulse of the circle, for the enchanters will always know what is happening among the children. All those who have passed their harrowing but have not taken apprentices are mages. This is where most trouble in a circle lies, in the idleness and inexperience of youth. The untested apprentices are the most numerous denizens of any tower, but they more often pose threats to themselves due to their lack of training than to anyone else. Knight Commander Serene of the Chantry Templars in a letter to his successor. Lovely. I assume it was you.
Who are you to talk to me like that, you bloody peasant?
The guard who'll throw you out if you kick that wall one more time.
Good for you, guardsman.
Good luck
You
getting
tell
in.
that noble.
I've been waiting all day.
I don't have an appointment. It's fine. I don't need an appointment. I'm Hawk.
Good day, Sirrah.
Good day to you too. Now then, can I get through here? Because I believe there are codex entries through here. Yes, the Lameran Accord.
Well, Sirrah.
Thank you, madam. The Lameran Accord. 50 years. That's how long it took the Imperium to drive out the Qunari occupation. But the rest of northern Thedas was not so lucky. Both divines, white and black, declared exalted marches, and for the only time since the schism of the Chantry, they worked together. A century-long siege resulted, with the giant Qunari entrenched in Antiva and Ravane, and all of Thedas throwing armies against them. The war drained the resources of every nation in Thedas, leaving most on the brink of collapse. For the giants, it did not appear to be the damage to their armada or the loss of their soldiers, but the terrible toll upon the Ravani population that prompted their retreat. When the third new Exalted March had all but massacred the people of Kontar without even chipping the Qunari occupying force, the giants finally withdrew. The treaty that put an official end to the Qunari Wars was signed on the politically neutral island of Lameran off the southern coast of Ravane. 150 years after their assault on the mainland began, the Qunari left our shores. They received the northern archipelago in exchange for cessation of hostilities against all nations on the Accord. Only Tevinter refused to sign, and so the war continues to rage in the Imperium to the present day. It's worth noting, however, that the Kingdom of Ravane immediately violated the treaty. Twice. Once when the humans of northern Ravane, nearly all practitioners of the Qun and therefore by definition Qunari, refused to leave their homes and go in exile to the islands. And again, when the Ravane Chantry and the nationalist forces, unable to convert its people back to the worship of the Maker, tried a purge by the sword, slaughtering countless unarmed people and burying them in mass graves. It's a fortunate mystery that the leaders in Kontar did not alert their allies in the Northern Passage, or we'd still be fighting the giants now. from The Exalted Marches, an examination of Chantry warfare by Sister Patrine, Chantry scholar. I find this so interesting. The fact that it wasn't that, you know, oh, they're killing us that made the Qunari leave. It was that they're killing the Ravani people. We want to convert these people. Therefore, we should leave to keep them safe. I find that such a power play. Because bearing in mind, to the Ravani peoples, they're going to be like, oh, they left. They didn't have to leave. But they did leave to keep us safe. Maybe the Qun isn't as bad as everyone's saying. I love the Qun. I love the Qunari. I absolutely adore them. I would love to play as an actual Qunari in Dragon Age 4. And I don't mean the horned people. I mean a practitioner of the Qun, a Qunari. I doubt we'll be able to do that, but you never know. Hello, anyone here? Ooh, I'ma take your wine. Thank you. Standard chest. Can you...
You want me to do what? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's 10, 20, 30, and 40. Okay. And was there something... The Enigma of Kirkwall. The Viscount is suspicious, but the bribe was sufficient to gain access to the restricted section of the archives. The money would have been better spent elsewhere, the archives being almost devoid of Imperium-era records. When the slaves revolted, they hunted magisters and burned the city, at least the parts that could be burned. One account says that the streets were littered with piles of scrolls and books set aflame. Is our quest futile? Did the slaves destroy the answer? As Matharath's armies toppled the Imperium, they sent 3 magisters and their legions here. They never arrived. But why march here of all places? What were they coming here for? Behind a panel with curious markings, signed the Band of 3. That's a name we're going to be seeing repeated throughout this game. And can we go through? No, we cannot go through there. Okay. Mental note, there's a chest in the Viscount's office. I can remember that.
Good luck getting in. I've been waiting all day.
Again, your mistake was making an appointment. Never make an appointment, just appear. I saw that. That was about the Amel family. Chantry hierarchy. The Divine is the titular head of the Chantry, although since the schism split the Imperial Chantry into its own faction, there are now in fact 2 Divines at any one time. One Divine, informally called the White Divine, is a woman housed in the Grand Cathedral in Val Royeaux. The other, known as the Black Divine, is a man housed in the Argent Spire in Minrathous. Neither Divine recognizes the existence of the other, and the informal names are considered sacrilegious. No matter the gender, a Divine is addressed as Most Holy or Your Perfection. Beneath the rank of Divine is the Grand Cleric. Each Grand Cleric presides over numerous chantries and represents the highest religious authority for their region. They travel to Val Royeaux when the College of Clerics convenes, but otherwise remain where they are assigned. All Grand Clerics are addressed as Your Grace. Beneath the Grand Cleric is the Mother, or, in the Imperial Chantry, the Father. If a mother is in charge of a particular chantry, Revered is appended to her title. These are the priests responsible for administering to the spiritual well-being of their flock. A mother or revered mother is addressed as Your Reverence. Brothers and sisters form the rank and file of the chantry, and consist of 3 main groups: Affirmed, Initiates, and Clerics. Affirmed are the lay brethren of the chantry, those regular folk who have turned to the chantry for succour. Often they are people who have led a difficult or irreligious life, and have chosen to go into seclusion, or even orphans and similar unfortunates who were raised into the chantry life. The affirmed take care of the chantry and are in turn afforded a life of quiet contemplation, no questions asked. Only those folk who take vows become initiates. These are men and women in training, whether in academic knowledge or the martial skills of a warrior. All initiates receive an academic education, although only those who seek to become Templars learn how to fight in addition. Clerics are the true academics of the chantry. those men and women who have dedicated themselves to the pursuit of knowledge. They are often found in Chantry archives, sages presiding over libraries of books and arcane knowledge. The most senior of these clerics, placed in charge of such archives, are given the title Elder, although such a rank is still beneath that of Mother. All other brothers and sisters are addressed simply by noting their title before their name, such as Brother Genitivi. From a guide for ambassadors from Ravain. I do like that. The Chantry never really reached Ravain, so they of all people would need a guide on Chantry hierarchy.
Part of the Amel family, aren't you? I
Yeah.
had a report come in recently concerning your uncle. He's a colourful chap, to say the least.
Colourful is one way of putting it, madam.
Good luck getting in. I've been waiting all day.
Again, these people making appointments. Such foolishness.
The Viscount must be terribly busy.
Anything else in here? Those aren't real doors. Okay. You have entered a companion's home base. Aveline!
Aveline!
Hello, Hawk.
That's it?
What? Oh, right. Sorry. It feels like we just talked. I've been keeping an eye on you. Information is one of the few perks of this job. Watch out for Bertrand. He's a son of a bitch.
I love this. You were spying on me again. I love that Aveline is just like, well, I'ma use my position as a guard to watch out for my friends. I like that.
You know I don't like it when you have people watch me.
Saved me camping on your doorstep. After what we went through to get here, well, you're no child, but I take care of my friends. The places they have me patrolling, I've got time.
Oh, Aveline, I love you so much. I adore Aveline. You're not happy as a guard, eavesdrop anything useful, Bertrand is my only option. Yeah. More jokes, please.
A person in your position. Seems like they might learn some profitable things.
You know better than to ask that.
One day you'll be frustrated enough to go for it.
It's like I'm sitting on my hands. There are dangerous people in this city. In fact, I might have a job for you. Let me know if you want to do a favor for Kirkwall. Otherwise, I'm here if you need me. Maker knows I could use more satisfying work.
Are you happy here? Do you miss Wesley? Do you miss being a soldier? Would you return to Ferelden? Oh, Amelia absolutely wants to catch up with Aveline.
Seems like Kirkwall suits you.
It has been a challenge. Lots of opportunity, if you're the type the locals want.
Are you?
If you argue enough, you kind of convince yourself.
I was going to say, Aveline must have faced such hardship. Because not only is she a Ferelden refugee, she's a Ferelden refugee with an Orlesian name.
It's been a year settling in. Are you all right?
You don't need to coddle me. I am where I am. How close I hold my memories is my own business.
Okay, Aveline. Okay.
This must be a very different pace from serving King Kalen.
It's just one more change, though. The real end for me was Ostagar. What about you, Carver? You were there. Do you feel something similar?
No.
All right, then. Bit of a tit, your brother.
Don't you be talking about my little brother like that. I mean, Amelia would agree. He sometimes can be a bit of a tit, but he means well, she thinks.
The Blight is over. You could go back to Lothering.
That wasn't home for me. It was just where the Horde pressed us. It wasn't the first village I saw fall. But you don't get used to people losing everything.
I only went back to fight. It was sad to leave that way. Ooh. Here's the thing. Amelia was in Lothering. So this doesn't really make sense. It makes sense if you're playing a rogue or a warrior, because you were also with Carver at Ostagar. But this really doesn't make sense for a main choke. Also, it doesn't make sense for Amelia. I've said this multiple times. Amelia hates violence. She's scared of doing damage. Every time she, you know, hurls a bolt of energy at an enemy, she winces. She hates doing damage. She will defend herself. She's not just going to lay down and die. She wants to live. But she doesn't like hurting people. Amelia didn't like Lothering. She really didn't like Lothering. She really felt like she didn't belong there. But I don't think she ever imagined leaving it that way. Because there were nice people in Lothering, like Elder Miriam and the guy who owned the bar whose name I can't remember. They were nice to Amelia.
It's not how I wanted to say goodbye. I'll say that.
You can't go home again. That's supposed to be about maturity. It's not the same if you don't have the option.
Yeah, we've asked everything.
All right, Aveline. You have something worth doing?
My patrols may be empty walks in the dark, but there's something big coming up, and I could use you. An ambush, probably for a caravan, although I can't find any shipments that match up. Doesn't matter though. Highwaymen waiting for someone to rob. I'm putting a stop to it, my district or not.
Do you have a name or anything else to go on?
Not important. If we show up and they attack, they're bad. Simple as that. I'll wager it's smugglers though. Like I said, seems like an obvious trap for a caravan.
Speaking of smugglers, Amelia is so relieved to no longer be working for Athenril. As I said, Amelia is... She's a good little Andrastian, and I'm pretty sure that thou shalt not smuggle and do other such illegal activities is one of the Maker's commandments. I'm pretty sure, at least.
You've been nosing around outside your commission.
I have contacts, and they're complaining about a lack of meat. Thugs and such. Someone is hiring. And one or two were told to prepare for travelers. You want to be good at this job? You pay attention to what's missing, and when people arrange escape routes.
Seems like you'd want to share this with your fellow guards.
I will, if you sit on your hands. I'll send my alerts, and someone else will lead a patrol. But there's profit and influence to be had. You're my friend, so I'm offering.
Oh, that's so lovely. Thank you, Aveline.
I'm no guard, Aveline.
There's only so many of us. Temporary recruits are expected time to time, as long as they're competent. You still claim to be competent, right?
Only sometimes. Yep. We'll do it.
All right, Aveline. I'll play guard for you.
I knew I could count on you. They're hidden up Sundermount, remote and rough, but we can make good time with a shortcut this side. And no, you can't run off and do it without me. I trust you, but I have to be there. You're acting on behalf of the Guard.
Oh, happily.
Stop kicking the wall.
I'm not. How dare you? Yeah. Amelia, I think... I'm getting distracted by that guy. I'm just going to pause. There we go. I think after everything they went through, getting to Kirkwall, you know, Aveline losing Wesley, Amelia losing Bethany, I can see Amelia really having bonded with Aveline. Okay, so how do I word this? Amelia is very social. She wants to have friends, a large social circle, and one day I think she'd very much like to have a romantic relationship with someone. She wants what her parents had. At the same time, Amelia feels like she isn't safe, and I mean that both ways. So she feels like she is in danger, and she feels like she is dangerous. And there is an immense amount of guilt within her for putting her friends in danger, and so she feels very selfish for wanting perfectly reasonable things. As I said before, Amelia has a lot of guilt and self-loathing within her. Okay, sorry about that. Had a knock at the front door. Now then, where were we? Seeing if the guards had anything to steal. That's right. Hello? You do not have anything. Okay, there's a chest, and that's simple, so Varric should be able to pick that one. Get to it. Thank you.
Bye.
And through here. A Study of the Fifth Blight, Volume 1. While some of my contemporaries dispute whether the Fifth Blight was a true blight or merely a large darkspawn resurgence, historians agree that it began in the swamps of the Kakari Wilds on the southeastern border of Ferelden in the year 930 Dragon. King Kaelin Theren was swift in responding to the threat, gathering the royal army, every Grey Warden in his country, and sending a call for aid to the Ferelden nobility. The assembled armies laid a trap in the ruins of Ostgar, hoping to crush the force before it reached civilization. But they failed. Darkspawn overran the defenders of Ostagar and decimated the king and his army. They continued their advance into Ferelden unopposed. Only 2 Grey Wardens managed to escape the slaughter, and somehow they came into possession of ancient treaties, which... whoop, there goes my timer. They came into possession of ancient treaties which compelled the races of men to join arms against the amassing horde. Lovely. And nothing else in here. And we can't access that room.
Hope the day's treating you well, Sarah.
You too. That's not really a door. Okay, I am going to stop right here. In the next episode, I think we'll be heading to Gamlen's house, seeing how the family is doing. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Kallista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.